Brandon, you had talked before that sometimes in your spring outings you felt good but didn't have the results you wanted, and vice versa. Was this the first outing you've had this year that complemented both?
It was closer. Made some mechanical adjustments this week, got a lot more comfortable with that, so I was able to execute a little bit better. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was better there till the end.
Offensively, just working that at bat, getting that walk to bring in the run there, just even fouling off a 98-mile-an-hour pitch. Just your thought of being at the plate.
It's not an easy at bat. He throws a million, and it from where my eyes are, it looks like it's a ground ball. Anyways, I'm too tall to be hitting fastballs at the knees. But I was looking there for something middle, something I could at least do something with, and he just kind of kept going side to side, and I fortunately worked a walk.
Just speak to what Adrian did tonight.
He hit the ball far a lot, and that's he's about as locked in as you can possibly be, and just everything is just squared up. He's on time. It's a nightmare for any pitcher to face. I don't care if you're throwing 99 or 80. It's you hope that's the guy you see the rest of the year because it's incredible.
You guys have talked so much about just not only professional baseball team but professional hitters. Don Mattingly describes Adrian as a guy that's very low maintenance but high production. How would you describe the way that he goes about things?
I would say that fits. He's one of those guys that older and knows exactly his routine, and you can count on him minute to minute. You know where he's going to be, what he's going to be doing. He's worked that in over time, and then it shows up in his bats. It's just there's so much discipline in his bats. He knows exactly where the barrel is on every swing. It's very hard to fool him. That kind of shows, and it starts from when he gets to the park, I'm assuming, and even before that, up until he swings at the pitch.
You had 9 strikeouts tonight, but a lot of the other outs were fly balls. Is that a kind of an alarm bell to you as far as how you're pitching that night? I mean, the 9 strikeouts is good, but the fly ball outs, does that concern you any night?
I mean, I'm not an extreme ground ball guy. I'm a guy that I'll veer towards ground balls. But last year, I think ground ball percentage went down a little bit in the second half, and that's just a different pitch mix that's not as sinker heavy. There's a little bit more emphasis on trying to get a strikeout, trying to move in and out of situations. So I don't care how they get it. If it's 10 balls robbed at the fence, then by all means, that's fine. I want the outs any way I can get them.
First time pitching here, in the regular season as a Dodger in front of these fans. Just your thought of the experience.
It was loud. I noticed early it felt like it was filling up, and then my at bat, it was the loudest I think I've ever heard a ballpark. Well, certainly when I'm hitting, usually it's a quiet or people go to the restroom. So it was loud, and that whole then being on base, it was awesome.
How much fun was it being on base after that play started to develop there at third?
Awful. Well, actually, no, I was out because that was a force play, and then someone in our dugout yelled, "Go back," and then I saw Middlebrooks make a move back, and I'm not a confident base runner by any means, but I don't know how everybody else scared me even more than I needed to be. I was out, and my job was done, but I'm glad we got the run there.
You kind of headed back, right?
Yeah, I'll go at least go back to the base. I'm not that sure. Anything that's happening when I'm base running, it's not exactly second nature to me, so someone was screaming. I figured I might as well walk back that way.
Did you talk to Jimmy? Did he think that you were still a live runner at that point, or did he not realize you were out?
I didn't go over it. I wish I knew what was happening when I'm base running, but it's like being in the dryer. Anyways, I just close my eyes and hope I get to home plate if I can.
Your last strikeout was a pretty big one there against Upton in the 5th inning. Take us through that about.
He kept fighting off good pitches down and away, and it was we knew where we wanted to go with 2 strikes once we got there, and fortunately I executed. I would have liked to have gotten a strikeout there to start the 6th. I felt like ahead on Middlebrooks. That's a good time to be able to put some away, and then just made a terrible pitch. So the last one Upton was big to get out of a situation, but the next one that I missed was almost turned out to bite me just as bad.
I think that might have been one of your hardest throws of the day. Is that typical that you're able to have enough in reserve that you can reach back and sort of blow one past a guy when you need to?
I hope. I just try and sync up mechanically and just let it come out. That's something now with throwing more four-seamers that I just try and let it go. I don't know if I just went a little bit too hard because when I came up with the 6, just dragging a little bit, just not as sharp. And, I don't know if I just did a little too much there, but at that time, that was the out I needed to get.
Did you feel like you were running out of gas going to the 6th, or did you still feel okay?
I didn't feel terrible. I just, and then even going back, the pitch to Middlebrooks was terrible, but all the rest of the pitches in that inning, actually, I was completely fine with. The 2 that, the one that Alonso hit and the one that Solarte hit were actually pitches where we were fine with them being there. It was just the pitch to Middlebrooks that was terrible. So I just wasn't as sharp, and I don't think the pitches had the late finish that I wanted.
Speaking of that, you went inside to Upton the first inning. Was that where you wanted?
Yeah, got it where I wanted. He just did a good job of getting in there and getting and turning on it, and it's not something I expect to happen all that often. But you know, he's a good hitter and he knows what he's doing, and I think he in that situation is probably looking in one spot, and I think we put it there for him.